All right. All right, let's get started. Welcome to Automate Your Content from ideation, planning, to all the way to publishing, posting content, and even more. We're going to see all that in the following slides that I've prepared for you. Thank you for being here, and let's get started. So what we'll cover in this masterclass is our challenges when it comes to content creation for us, solo entrepreneurs, and even small businesses as well, where the business relies on mostly one person or just a couple, where we all have to do everything. And then I'm going to go over the content creation cycle, everything that needs to happen when we create content, and even more so. Then I'm going to introduce how we can automate part of that cycle or most of that cycle or different pieces of that cycle. So we're going to dive into this, and I'm going to do a demonstration with one particular automation for something within the content creation cycle. And then we're going to be in the Q&A. There's no use case. That's part of the live demonstration. Okay. So what challenges do we face? So let's talk about something we all deal with, is those daily battles that we need to face every day when we create content. And that really eat into the time and all the energy that we have in the day. And the first one that we face is that we have too much to do and too little time. So we need to do better time management. I know I'm not the only one who feels like that, but I mean, do you all think that there's not enough hours in the day? I mean, let me know in the chat. Yeah, comment in the chat. And if you have any questions, by the way, I forgot to mention that, drop them in the chat, and I'm going to come back to them at the end during the Q&A session. Yeah, time is a problem, right? We are all solo entrepreneurs. We have to do everything ourselves. And yeah, there's never enough hours in the day to do all of it. So in creating content, it starts from thinking from ideas and making the content, to posting, to handling all the social media, commenting, replying. Every steps of that entire process takes time, right? So working solo as a solo entrepreneur, we have to make every minute counts. So yeah, just like last night, I was working late. So how often does that happen to you, that you end up working late and just creating that piece of content, trying to squeeze like one more during the day or just one during the day, right? Now let's talk about keeping up with the quality, because when we rush creating content, because we are scrambling to find time, we are just trying to keep up with the need to post, because we know we have to, because that's how we are visible into the online space, and that's how we market mostly our business. So the thing is that if we scramble and we push content out really fast, like last minute posting, I like to call it, and I'm gonna show you an example shortly. I think the quality is not there because we feel rush. We are not very planning it. It's not well prepared. And yeah, we just post and we come up with the idea on the spot because we want to make it fast and quick. So it's done and we feel happy that we've posted, but it's probably not optimal. We are not reaching our message is not reaching our target audience on social media, and it's not the quality that we think we should be posting. So then, yeah, what's the point of posting like that? So do you relate to this one as well? Just, yeah, let me know. Because, I mean, this is totally me. Now then there's the issue of not having enough help, or I mean, we are solo entrepreneurs. Some of us are just starting. I know some are further ahead, but we can't necessarily afford to hire a team that will manage our social media, create our content, just handle the reply, or even just a VA that will handle some of those tasks. We can't necessarily do that. So we have to do it all ourselves. And it means that we might not focus enough on any because there's all those areas that we need to focus on to create content. We are doing all of them, but not necessarily in an optimal way. And yeah, none of them really shine, basically. And it all depends on our mood at the time we do those tasks, and if we are exhausted or if we are sad or bored. And yeah, so here is the example. Meet me, 10 p.m. at night, trying to keep my own promise, which, by the way, 10 p.m. is my bedtime. Trying to keep my promise that I made myself to post at least once per day on social media. So who has done that before? Just let me know in the comment as well. So these challenges are very real, right? And all of them, they feed into each other, and it make it feel like we are stuck in this tough cycle of just scrambling to do social media. But imagine, what if we could have more hours in our week? We could keep up the quality of the content that we want to produce and manage all of that without blowing the budget and hiring like a big team of experts and all that. So just, yeah, think of those three issues. Maybe there's one that you relate more to it. Just keep that in mind as we go through that. And now, so I had this realization that, I mean, I can't really continue to just scramble to do that one post per day. I used to do 3, but same process. I used to do 3 posts per day, and it was like, okay, I need to come up with content. What can I talk about? Okay, turn on the camera, shoot it, edit it on the spot, add the description, add everything, post it. And I'm like, well, I'm happy I did that. But definitely not so much efficient. That's what I realized. And I think part of that realization is that we need to treat content differently. It needs to be prioritized. And when I say prioritized, and it needs to be a priority, because this is a big piece of our businesses. This is how people discover us, and we need to take this more seriously, I think. And it also needs to be batched, and it needs to be scheduled. So we can take off some of that rush and that feeling that we just talked about. So to get there, I figured that I would lay out the entire process of creating content, and I broke it into different phases. So let's start with the first one, which is the planning. Or I also call it the ideation phase, because this is where we come up with idea. Or basically, it's also content research. Because I don't know, I call it a bit of content research, but sometimes for me, content research is just, oh, I have an idea now, let me shoot, record, edit, and post. But I think content research should be just a bit more deep. So how do we do that? We can gather rich content that we find on the web. We go out and look for that content. We find current trends, our audience interest, and we can look at different places like YouTube. Maybe we follow some websites, some blogs or articles website, news website, Reddit maybe, websites like this. We can watch our competitors' website. We can look at training topics in our niche as well. Then there's also like the more technical aspect where we go out and we need to look for the keywords that are being searched a lot in search engine. Find the relevant hashtags inside the different social media platform. Or like on Instagram, for instance, I know my wife, Marianne, does that. The trending sounds or the trending style of videos as well. Like all of these should be part of like that phase and researching. Well, and let's not forget that there's also us coming up with idea and maybe not like I was telling just before, where I come up with an idea, maybe I write it down or I shoot it on the spot, but organizing it, storing it, archiving it, and prioritizing it. That's what it should be, I think. Then the second step is the creation phase. Once we have our idea, we move on into that phase where we can create it. We turn the concept and that idea into the actual content. It's recording. No, sorry, not recording. It's actually writing the blog post. Yeah, no, it is recording the video or writing the article, writing the post, writing the content. Or if it's images, maybe it's a graphic design, designing the graphic. And this is all about turning the idea into a live piece of content. Then the third step is the editing. So as we've shot or recorded that video, taking the video as an example, because this is one that I mostly use, the goal is to just make it better. And by that, we do the cuts, we make it, we shape it so it works within the parameters and what are the expectations for the platforms that we post it on. So for instance, if it's short form that we post on TikTok, we make quick cuts. So the video has a good fast pace, things like that. Then there's also creating the headlines, the title, like if it's a YouTube video, for instance, the caption, which is either the subtitles, but also just like on Instagram, it's like the description of the post. But actually, I'm thinking of those three, like the headline, the captions, and the hashtags. I also believe I put them in editing because that's also what I do right now when I create them is at the editing point, but they could also be seen as their own pieces of content and they could be part of the creation process. But yeah, let me know in the comment what you think about that, because I think they could be viewed as independent pieces of content to create like a bundle of content with the actual main piece, the video, for instance. So I don't know. So I put them there, but that could change. So if you have ideas around that, just let me know in the chat. Number 4, posting or publishing. This is when the content goes live for everyone to see on social media. Then it's a bit more than just hitting the publish button, because I think we should take it to another level where we need to make sure the content is also out at the right time where our audience is active, for instance. And for that, definitely scheduling post helps. The next one is also analytics. I have not really been focusing on this one myself so far, but I want also to get into that because this is where we measure and learn how our content is performing on the platforms. And we should look at the data to like the views, the likes, the shares, and or comments, just to understand how they perform and get that feedback loop so we can produce better content based on what works. So just basically use that as information to feed back into what we plan right here to create the next time. And the last one, we have repurposing, because all content should not just be used once. I mean, we actually created it. Why not reuse it, especially based on the analytics, or even just seeing that we have a air quote viral video, something that generate more interest, more views. Why not just take it back? There could be some instance where we want just to repost it like this as is, or we can also transform it into other pieces of content. And for instance, a video podcast. Sorry, Eric, for calling it a video podcast. Maybe that's the right word, but if you record a video podcast, that can be split and chopped up into multiple pieces of content. So they could become a short form content that goes out on TikTok, for instance. Or if you get the transcript of that podcast, well, you can create out of it a YouTube video, maybe that's a bit longer on that topic, but you can also generate that title for the YouTube video and also a description for that YouTube video. So I believe that the transcript of any of the video or audio recordings that we do is like a crucial foundation to just repurposing contents. And the reason for that is one of our favorite tool, I believe, ChatGPT, right? So we'll get to that. Now that we have the content creation cycle, we've understood the process, we have the distinct phases, and we have sort of a task breakdown. Not in detail, but we have a task breakdown. So how do we go through that cycle faster? How do we spend less time on that entire cycle? And how are we less involved in the cycle? And the answer to that is, and how do we make the best use of our time doing it? Like doing all that process that's gonna help us produce a better content, basically. How do we do that? And the answer to that is we automate, right? Because if we can automate pieces, now that we have all phases and the different tasks that we can do or that we have to do to make better content, what if we take some of them and we start automating them? So we spend less time on that particular one, and then we add into the process an automation for another one, and we spend even less time on that part of the process, and then another automation somewhere else, and we spend again less time. Overall, we're gonna reduce our involvement, our time spent on doing it, and automation is also gonna bring I'm gonna say a bit of quality control. Because, for instance, if we schedule our post, we don't have to rely on ourselves posting at the right time. Or maybe just like a reminder on our phone, or just us thinking about, oh, it's time when I should be posting. So just going through again, what if we were to automate? I've highlighted everything in yellow that can be automated. So for the planning phase, I think this should turn into just reviewing and prioritizing. So if we automate that, like gathering content ideas from various websites that we know we're gonna go look for idea, or when we do content research, keyword research, hashtags research, I think this can all be automated. So our task becomes just reviewing what we have, what's presented to us by the automation, and just prioritizing them. So we can move on to the next step, which is the creation one. This one is a bit more complex, in my opinion, to automate, because obviously, and maybe not. So I'm gonna talk about that a bit. But for me, I want to be on camera and talk to the camera. So I need to create my videos. But if you do faceless content, for instance, you can absolutely automate creating the videos, creating the images, having the text on screen. That process can entirely be automated. So it can be yellow, obviously, for that type of content. But even for me, I also post quotes, text on screen. So for those, we can automate that. Then the editing process. So, I mean, the super level of automation would be to hire an editor. But although there's still going to be the review to do, but so this part, again, for me, I'm going to still edit my video. There are tools that can do that for us, like Opus Clip. But I think it doesn't work for all the editing that we do. But still, they exist and they can be put to use. But generating headlines, generating caption, the video description, hashtags, this can entirely be automated. And a big part of that is thanks to ChatGPT. Then the publishing, this one is an obvious one. Having something that schedule our post that goes out, definitely we can either use automation to publish automatically or have the dedicated platform, just like Metricool, that where we create our post there, and they will go out on the schedule. I think there's another point in there is there's also part of publishing, there's some specific platform features. And I'm thinking about like the YouTube pin comment. So if you create, it's a good practice to create your own first comment when you post a YouTube video and pin it. That can absolutely be done using automation. Next part, analytics. This one is kind of already automated because we can take the metrics back from a tool like Metricool or look into our TikTok account for the analytics. So it's there. I think we can take it to another level where we can tie it back somewhere where we host our own content. So we can see, especially if we repurpose content and we have like one video, let's say we repost it 5 times, we could tie it back to that one video instead of having 5 different analytics because it's 5 different posts. All right, and the last one, creating more pieces of content out of an existing one. This one can definitely be automated because we can, again, use ChatGPT. The example that I took was using the transcript of a video and creating a text post or a new script for a video. This can be automated as well. So enough of the slides. Let's go to the live example, which I'm going to be sharing an automation that will help us with the planning phase. Okay, give me 1 second to have the right screen. This. Okay, I need to switch the screen that I'm sharing. Okay, stopping. All right. Let me know if you see. Does everyone see like bubbles in colors, which is make.com, which is an automation platform?
I can see it, Kevin.
Awesome. Thank you, Bill. All right. I hope it's big enough. Let me actually zoom in. All right. So this is make.com. And for those who are not familiar with it, it's an automation orchestrator. It's a platform where you can connect all the apps that you use already. For instance, your Google Drive, Google Sheet, Google Docs, Airtable, which is sort of a database management tool, ChatGPT, other tools that can help you generate images, or basically I call it an orchestrator because you can connect all of those and make them interact together in the background. So you can create your own workflows or automated tasks that you want to do. That's what Make.com platform does. And this automation that I created, and I'm going to do a live demonstration of it, is dedicated to that first step of the content creation cycle, which is planning and doing a bit of content research. So let me show you what it can do. So it starts with this. I'm going to zoom in. All right. I think that must be better. So it starts with a spreadsheet where we can list in this column every website. It's using RSS feeds. So RSS might be a bit technical. I know, Eric, you are very familiar with that because that's what podcasts use to go out in the world. But RSS is just, you can see it as a technical way of formatting data. So different platforms can get those data and use them in some way. So, and for instance, Reddit outputs all of the threads, the topics, discussions in this format so that they can be easily connected to something else. So Reddit does that. WordPress does that for all the blog posts. Most of the news website, you can find RSS feeds. It's just like a technical link from that website that gets the data out in a very specific format that almost everyone understand, and I mean every tools understand, because I mean if you look at what it looks like, yeah, it's kind of terrible, but but the machine or the tool that we are connecting it to understands. So in this example, I've just added 2 RSS feeds. So these are 2 Reddit that I use for my content research, and I just named them. I'm gonna need to go in my Google Drive as well. Okay. So this is where the folder exists. I'm gonna put it on this side. I'm gonna do this on this side. So let's get back to the automation. So what the automation does, sorry, I forgot the chat. Just okay. So what this automation does is it's gonna go read those RSS feeds to gather the information that's there. So it's reading that spreadsheet, getting the RSS feeds, the data there, doing a bit of formatting, then it's getting it to ChatGPT, and the output is going into a Google Doc. So now I'm running it right here. You can see it going, it's going to ChatGPT. I'm going to show you the prompt that I have in ChatGPT. And obviously that step is configurable with the prompt that you want. You can make it do whatever you want. But okay, there's quite a lot of data to process, so that's why it takes a bit of time. All right, we can see first file has been created. And it's processing another feed because there's 2 feeds. There was about 42 articles from those 2 feeds that have been processed. So yeah, ChatGPT is taking a bit of that. Oh, okay. And we see the second file has been created. And what's in that file? I asked ChatGPT, well, maybe I should show the prompt first. But I asked ChatGPT to create me 7 pieces of content from the best information from all those feeds. And for each piece of content, I wanted it to generate me an ID, not an idea, just an ID, a numerical ID, a headline, a hook, a detailed outline for that piece of content, and relevant hashtags that I can use in that context, and also relevant keywords for SEO purposes. And then a bit of formatting that I added in there, but that's what the prompt does. And this is what the output is. And you can see one of the article was about how to query HubSpot using make.com. So I created a hook, learn how to efficiently query HubSpot using Make's integration, 3 bullet points outline, detailed guide extracting data from HubSpot, step-by-step process, 4 hashtags, and a few keywords. And as you can see, there's 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's 7, basically 7 post ideas that I can take from this and just create 7 pieces of content for my week. And that's what this automation does. And we can fill this with more information, more websites that we use. We can add more of it. We can also improve that by maybe adding some filter, adding some, maybe we improve the prompt with just asking for that particular topics. So what I did is I have just one request going out to ChatGPT. I'm trying to be efficient with how I call ChatGPT, just because we have to pay for each call we make to ChatGPT. I mean, it's pretty cheap. But if we automate and have like, I don't know, 20 or 30 RSS feeds, and we start calling 20 times each time for 20 posts, it can go it can spread out and have a lot of calls in like this. So I'm trying to be mindful like this. So that's why there's just one that creates 7 pieces, but we can also imagine that we can call individually and have ask ChatGPT, have a prompt that is more precise with asking for more detail for the outline, for instance. We can go a bit more, a bit deeper to have like maybe a first rough draft of that article or that post that we want to create. So we can make our life even easier, having like something that we can just, and this ties back to when I say we can automate this step. With this, we can just start as we refine the process, we can start just having to review what this output and just prioritize it so we can go to the creation phase right away. And we don't have to spend time, because I don't know about you, but for me, that takes time to go out on YouTube, go out on this website, go out on any website, because, we go out on those websites with the topics that interest us. So we start reading, spending more time than we want to. Yeah, it can be an easy trap to get into. And we kind of, I don't want to say waste, but air quote, waste time on that. But right now, with an automation like this, we get the data, we can just review the data, prioritize it, and we move on to the creation phase. All right. This was the demo of that, I'm going to go back to my slide, finish a bit of the presentation. If you have any question on that, we can come back to it during the Q&A. Okay, I need to change again. All right. Where is the... I just lost my Canva. Okay. Here we are. All right, so this was the live example. Well, this is me after automating portion of the process. I have more that I want to automate, but seeing that and all the ideas that I have with automating my content creation process, I felt better. So this is a good segue to talk about my Smart Automation Lab, which is the membership program that I just created. And it includes a monthly themed automation that we go through. It has video how-tos on how to set up and configure and run this automation. It includes the one-click import template. So for instance, the automation that we just saw, it's going to be just a one-click for any members to just import that and have it set up in his own make.com account. I also included a 1-hour Q&A weekly live call with me, so we can go through any questions, set up how we can improve the automation in a better way. What do you want to see? This is what we do in the Smart Automation Lab. And being part, as I just said, you influence the next theme of the process of the next theme of the following months. I mean, influencing the automation that we create during the months, but also the following month. And as a member, you also get a special discounts for any of the other automations that I create that are available in my the Effort Free Time community. And the transition was because the month of May, starting tomorrow, first call is at 11 a.m. The topic of the month is content ideation. So the first call is tomorrow at 11 a.m. If you were to join right now, you gain immediate access to the automation tool that I demonstrated. I mean, you're going to get it tomorrow with the first call. And it's also a collaborative, we do collaborative improvement where we will shape and announce that particular process together, because you will have ideas, or maybe your process is different or has more to it, and we will work on that during that month of that month. So Smart Automation Lab is gonna be at $197 per month, but not right now because it's still the founders phase. I'm just starting the program, and this is gonna be the price, the MSRP. I don't know if we say that for our line of work, but that's gonna be the price. But starting today, you get access to the founders price, but also additional bonuses. I'm including bonus number 1 is an automation that allows you to generate from a spreadsheet. You input a topic idea, and it generates a hook, an outline, and a hashtag. It's sort of similar to the other one, but slightly different. Bonus number 2 is the email attachment archiver. This one is perfect for if you receive emails with invoices, for instance. That's how I use it. I receive my Kajabi invoice every month via email. I have that automation taking care of that invoice for me in the background, where it takes the PDF and archive it in my Google Drive, so I don't have to worry about it when tax season come. Because I don't know about you, but typically with tax season, I'm scrambling to go over all my emails to find all the invoices and all the expenses that I had in my business. So this automation helps you do that, so you don't have to worry about those PDFs or any attachment, by the way. I'm also included the Twitter screenshot generator, which this one, it allows you to, from a spreadsheet, you input a quote or a text, and just from that text data, it transforms it into just like if you posted it on Twitter or X, like if you do a screenshot of that post, it just transforms that. It creates that image automatically, that screenshot for you automatically. So you can batch that. If you create 20 quotes in that spreadsheet, in one click, you can generate 20 images that you can post on Instagram. You can adjust the format of the image, so you can post also on TikTok, for instance. This is a great tool. And number 4, for all of you, if you have a school community, I created an automation that allows me, or can allow you, to schedule your post. So you can, because that feature is not in school and it's not gonna be made available, because the Sam Ovens, the founder of Skool, and other members of his team, they've mentioned that they won't do it because they want to keep the communication, they say, more genuine, more I don't know. Yeah. But for us, again, solo entrepreneurs having to post, we want to stay in touch with our community. It's important for us to post at least once a day. And I don't know about you, but for me on the weekend, I like to I'm spending time with my kids, and I'm not necessarily in front of my laptop to just create a post on Skool. So having that done up front and having it posting automatically and scheduled, it's great. So that automation do exactly just that. It's schedule a post for you and runs once a day. You have that post going out. So I'm including all those bonuses if you start today. And the price is $97 per month. So if you join, because that's the founder's price, so if you join today for $97, you get access to the automation that I just demonstrated, those 4 bonuses, and the weekly calls, and my help to set up all those automations during the weekly calls. So great value there. All right, that was my speech, and now let's move on to the Q&A part. I'm gonna go through the chat, see if there's any question. Okay. Time is my biggest problem. Yeah, I totally relate to that, Eric. Mike says, working lunch all the time, work till 2 a.m. on Friday. Yeah, I hear you. Yep, yeah. I think everyone relates to what I mentioned. Thank you, Shashila. I still hope. Yeah, if you have any question, please unmute yourself. Ask away. I'm just reading the comment for now, but yeah, just go ahead. It's an open floor now. Now you're speaking my language. I believe that was for the RSS feeds. Mike, you wants to learn about make.com? Yeah, absolutely. It's really interesting. Great explanation of the RSS feeds. Thank you. So excited working on the automation today. Can't wait for tomorrow's call. Yeah, Jenna. Yeah, we'll chat tomorrow. Gotta go. Oh, Mike seems to be okay. He's gonna check with his wife. Oh, nice. Yeah, he had to go. So, uh, Eric says, you want to try sending podcast? I mean, Eric, feel free to ask your question live and we can chat. And Bill is asking what's additional software will we need? Well, for that, it depends. It depends on what you want exactly to automate. So you see, if I'm just going back to that automation, the one that I just used, it allows me to. All right, for this one, we are connecting a Google Sheet, which is a free tool. I'm sure you use that already. You know, all the Google Suite can be used for free. Obviously, you can pay for a bit more storage depending on what you do, but it's probably the cheapest tool you can use. Yeah, I mean, that you use, that's probably the cheapest because I think it's about $20 for the year to get 200 gig. But I mean, just looking at spreadsheets, there's nothing like storage involved in that because it's just text data. So this one is Google Sheet. This is free. RSS, this is absolutely free. It's just reading data. This is formatting. It's free. Just ChatGPT. ChatGPT has an extra cost. And even though you're probably using ChatGPT as a tool, maybe even paying for it, this is not the same as the chat itself. This is the API, so it's like a behind the scene in the background. Make connects to that. API stands for Application Programming Interface, so it's a place where different application can connect together without having a UI, a front for you to interact. That's where developers develop things to connect together. So anyway, this one is an extra as an extra cost, but it's very reasonably priced. Again, obviously, if you call 20,000 times for different things every day, obviously the cost is gonna be higher. But for something like that, generating a couple of posts, if you think about 7 posts per week, it's probably be in the couple of cents to get that. Not even, I think. So that gives you an idea. And Google
Okay.
Doc is absolutely free. So for this one, this is the only one that has a cost that is very minimal. Yeah, another tool that I'm gonna be using, we can use spreadsheets, but there's something else that's called Airtable that's better, and you can get a bit more organized with organizing data, because it's a better storage place for storing data. It's called Airtable. I think it's about $20 also per month, so that might be something I do. But for simple and I mean, and it starts for free, so you can already use it for free, that tool. So yeah, but that could be used within Google Sheet as well, depending on how complex is the automation. Yeah, but then there's other things like if you want to generate images, it's similar to ChatGPT. It's an API that you call that's going to create the image for you. They have a cost. Some are like $20 a month. You are limited. It depends on the volume of what you want to produce, basically.
Okay. So like Metricool, you don't necessarily use that. That function can actually be used with this automation.
Yes, not yet, because right now that process is only about getting idea to create content. But definitely, I'm gonna look at integrating Metricool. Uh, you, I think you can use Metricool for free. So that's one thing. You cannot connect an automation to Metricool if you don't have the paid version. So that's one thing if you really want a fully automated process. But already you can get access to some very nice features for free within Metricool for the scheduling part. Even that's going to give you some analytics as well. So this is a great tool to start using.
Yeah. This one though will schedule on some platforms already, right? Like TikTok,
Yep.
Instagram. We'll do YouTube.
I believe it does YouTube as well.
Okay.
Yeah. I haven't played too much with it. I created an account like a couple of weeks ago, and I've just checked it out. I created one post with it, scheduled one post, but I've used it for my TikTok account. I haven't connected YouTube, but I really think you can.
Okay. So I guess my other question right off the bat is if we want to pull the trigger on it, I need to talk with my wife as well. Where do we go to purchase?
Get started. So
Yeah.
yeah, I should have shown that on the video, but in my community, let me go there quickly. So in the effort-free time, let me zoom out. If you go to either that post, which is the second one for the Smart Automation Lab launching May 1st, or I'm going to send you the link. In the classroom, I have my product library, and the first product is the Smart Automation Lab. So by joining here, you get the founding price, and you're gonna get access automatically because I have an automation that's opening the Smart Automation Lab classroom, but I'm gonna open the extra bonuses manually as soon as you join. So let me post that in the chat. So you have the link as well.
Okay. Thanks, Kevin.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Kevin, I had a question about the make. You said that it costs, or maybe I was misunderstanding because I was also trying to take care of Dominic at the same time. But you said ChatGPT it costs each time you use it. Is that right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, is that with the free version of Make, or is that with the paid version of Make?
So it's independent. ChatGPT is its own paid. Basically, you have, oh yeah, I forgot to mention that, Bill, but Make, you can start for free, but then you have to pay the more you use it. It's also based on usage. So it starts with that. So you have, it's in the organization. Let me save that. You can see your operation data transfer. You have your limits right here based on your usage. I'm on the first plan, which is $10 per month. You get 10,000 operation. And I've been using it a bit, not so much, but that's quite plenty to get started. And even on the free, you can get started. The limit you might have is if you start moving and processing like heavy files, you're going to reach that limit pretty fast. So that's one cost that you have to factor in for Make. But as I said, the first step, the first price point is going to be $10.50. That gives you about 5 gigabytes of data to transfer and 10,000 operation. And now ChatGPT is independent. It's every time we call, so I'm going to go back to the scenario. So ChatGPT, you have to go, it's not the right one, sorry. Content research. So ChatGPT, you have to go in the, I'm going to show you after that, but It's independent from Make. It's each time this is run and calls ChatGPT to ask it for like you see this prompt because I had 2 feeds and this automation. It calls in one run. It called ChatGPT twice. So depending on that, you have a certain it uses tokens based on the complexity of the request, basically. But each time you use a bit of those tokens, but yeah, it's every time this is called. And if you add like an extra step to do something else with ChatGPT, like here, for instance, and you want to generate something else, that's going to be an additional call to ChatGPT. That's going to add into the cost. But it's portion of pennies per call, right? I mean, I've put $10 and I think I've spent 30 cents in the past 2 weeks, but I have nothing crazy that runs a lot all the time, right? So it's hard to evaluate and tell you that, hey, it's going to cost you $30 per month, but because that depends on how heavy the automation we run using that. That makes sense?
Yes, that makes sense. So basically that's not charged through Make, that's charged through ChatGPT.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, you have to go to OpenAI, not the chat. You go to the website here, and you see there are 2 different products basically.
Mhm.
So if you go, this is the detail of the API, and here, if you click login, you'll be brought to those 2 choices. This is gonna get you to where you used to go. But if you go to the API, this is where you have more detail, your API keys to connect the tool. You can see your usage. You see it's been 21 cents in April I spent.
Okay. And all right, so your usage on it is probably a lot from just like testing and stuff, so it'd probably be even lower for somebody that's just using it, right?
Yes, right now I don't have a lot of automation. I mean, I don't have automation running a lot, but I've done a couple of tests. I'm also trying to be efficient. So you see, this prompt is creating 7 pieces of content. I could have something that calls 7 times to create the pieces of content. So I'm trying to be efficient to minimize. So it's a bit more optimized to not call too much of ChatGPT, because I know that if we scale it, I mean, if it's not optimized from the get-go, then it can start to become more costly, obviously. So that's another thing I'm trying to keep in mind when I create them.
Awesome, thank you.
All right, any other question?
I think we talked about this before, but I wanted to ask again because I didn't quite fully understand it.
Yeah.
The Twitter generator thing that you have, you said it is fully possible to use that with a Google Sheet and transfer it, like not make a Twitter image. You could just make regular images
Yes.
with content on it.
Yes. It's just it needs to we need to update this portion, which is an HTML and CSS. And if you know what that is, that's how you create websites. I mean, that's the language to create the nice design of websites. So basically, you need to create the nice designs in this language and put the variable that are going to be fed by the Google Sheet data. So that's for this particular automation and that tool called HTML CSS to image. It's basically transforming that HTML CSS into an image. So this is the code that creates a Twitter-like image. So you need to have another code that creates the image the way you like. I'm gonna look for if I can find like because I don't think I have that. But I'm gonna try to find like an editor where you can graphically create your design and generate that HTML out of it with the CSS. That would be nice, I think. Because yeah, if
Yeah,
you want,
because there's no way that I'm gonna like, I can do the graphic side of it, but I can't necessarily do the code part.
yes,
Or I could, but it's gonna take way too much time for me to figure it out or
yes,
remember how to do it.
yeah. So that's I'm gonna try to find that, find a tool that we can use to do that. I know there's another platform where it's integrated in it. It's a bit more expensive because this one is free up to 50 image per month. So it's pretty cool. Because if you want to generate just one image per day, that's free. The other tool I know it's a paid one and it does the same thing basically, but you have the graphic designer integrated inside the tool. So I'll look for the tool as well. Maybe I'll create the automation as well using the tool. And if someone wants to go ahead and use it right away, because then you don't have to do different things. Because the tool, yeah, it's a bit more integrated and better. Yeah, so I don't know if you're not familiar, let me show everyone what this does. Mhm. Oh. View. Okay, so the Twitter screenshot, it takes data from a spreadsheet like this. Sorry, let me. Okay, so it takes data on a spreadsheet like this. This is all just parameters. The most important part is this one, which you can put quotes, you can put text. So you have like, in this one, there's 23 text, and it generates an image like this automatically. And you see everything you see here is a parameter of the spreadsheet. There's the link to my profile picture. This is that column. This is the handle that's right here. You get the date, so you can put the date, whatever date you want in this column. And each row is an image like this. So you see the quote here is free up your time with automation and watch your business grow. The next one is don't just work harder, work smarter, let automation handle repetitive tasks. And you see the dates are changing. And you can also change the numbers of comments and retweet that you see here. So it's a tool that from a spreadsheet, you can change the background color. I would not recommend to use red like this, but maybe. So that's what the tool does out of the spreadsheet and data like this that you can ask ChatGPT to generate those 20 quotes for you. You create that spreadsheet, you run the automation, and you get 20 posts, 20 image that are Twitter screenshot that you can just tweet screenshot, I should have called it maybe, that you can just use and post on social media like Instagram, or you can change the size of the image right here from the spreadsheet. So you can have like vertical images if you want to post them on TikTok, for instance. So that's what the Twitter screenshot does. This automation, which is included in my offer for joining by the end of the day. All right, is there any more question? We are 10 minutes past the meeting, but I'm happy to answer any other question if you have any.
I can't think of anything, but I'm really excited about tomorrow's call and getting these going.
Yes, so yeah, tomorrow I'm gonna share the automation that I just demonstrated today in the masterclass. So you're gonna have it. Because it's the first call, it's probably gonna be a bit of setup, me helping you setting up like the first thing, because the first time if you want to set up Make, you're gonna have to have Make connecting to Google Drive, connecting to Google Sheet. It's a bit of a couple of things to do. Maybe connect ChatGPT if you get there as well, and that part is not fun too much, but you just need to do it once, and once it's connected, then you can start really doing it. It's connected for all the time, so yeah, that's I'm excited as well to get started tomorrow. So yeah, if anyone wants to get started now is the time, because there's that special offer with the founding price, the 4 bonuses included, and we are starting tomorrow, so you don't want to miss the first call. So you can get set up tomorrow already, and yeah, the rate is gonna be $197 per month in the future, but right now it's $97 per month for anyone who joins. And for today, I'm including the 4 automation as a bonus.
I
So
did get to try one of those automations today.
yeah,
I do have like a follow-up question with that one later. Here you
sure.
go. Look, there's your process.
Anytime you can post in the community. I've also created a special section, which is a category called Need Help.
Okay.
So yeah, feel free to post there. I created that because it's easy in the community to like share a Loom video, and also it's gonna help anyone who has that same problem to just see the answer and the resolution. But yeah, reach out, post in the community, and I'm more than happy to help Jenna. All right. Well, if there's no more question, I'm gonna turn off the recording, and thank you all for being here, spending the time. The recording is gonna be available in the classroom later today, which is gonna be here in the live event replays. For those who, if you want to watch previous masterclass that I did last week, it's available already. So yeah. Yes, absolutely. The calls that the calls that I'm running tomorrow, for instance, and the weekly calls, the weekly Q&A live calls, they're gonna be recorded and they're gonna be included in the classroom. Obviously, only for the members of the Smart Automation Lab, but you're gonna get access to the recording in case you missed them. So if you're joining today, but tomorrow you know you can't make it at 11 a.m., you're gonna be able to watch the replay later in the day. Okay, and you said the plug and play template worked perfectly. Well, I'm happy to hear that. Yeah, that's yeah, you get the step-by-step process where for each automation, you get the template that you just import inside of Make, and it creates you the automation. You just have to go and make sure everything is connected after that, but you don't have to create the automation by yourself. So it's just a one-click import, and it's there for you. Just a bit of verification that everything is connected, maybe your own path to your own spreadsheet, minimal things like that, and then you're off you go and run your own version of the automation. So happy to hear that it was easy. Yeah, and you don't have to figure it out on your own. All right, thanks for being here, and I'll see you in the next masterclass.
Thanks, Kevin.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Bill.